like to help you work through lesson 8 of the second beginner level of the Piano Skills Foundation series. It's hard for me to say those every time. Anyway, with this lesson 8, you're going to do the usual stuff. We're going to work through your exercises. I'm just going to demonstrate how to play through those. Hopefully yours are sounding pretty good. We're going to do a new tune, Yankee Doodle. Lots of tricky fingerings in that one. A couple of neat little reading exercises, and then we're going to finish up the minor tune, or a minor tune. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you've been enjoying your practicing. I want to remind you to keep yourself patient. Don't get frustrated. On the video, I go through things a little bit fast, so it's up to you to slow it down when you're practicing yourself. Keep things slow and work up to whatever tempos you want to. I'm just always trying to demonstrate how you get through your practice materials the right way. So anyway, or not the right way. There's not a right or a wrong. There's just, an effective way. So I'm hoping you're learning how to practice, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying it too. So good luck with this. Okay, so the first thing on your list for the practice guide on lesson 8 is the C major scale, the arpeggios, the cadence, and the twinkle. I'm going to just play them straight through at 160 today, so they're getting a little bit faster each week. I'm even going to put the twinkle at 160. We're still doing our scale with 2 beats per note, so it's right thumb, left third, major notes, right thumb, left third, left thumb, right third, left thumb, right third. Okay, now the arpeggios, one note at a time. Four chord. Five chord. Five, 7. Back to the 1 chord. Now my cadence. Now the left hand. Both hands. Now twinkle. Then I switch them. And that was a quick playthrough of all of your exercises for this week. Now, I do this just to show you that it's so important for you to keep your exercise rolling. And when every time you sit down to practice, you should just go straight through those exercises right up off the top, because that is what gets your mind and your fingers and everything onto the keys and gets the keyboard into your head and into your fingers. If you do this consistently every time you practice, it will make you a much better piano player. So stick with those, and good luck with that. So you have a new tune to learn by ear this week and by rote. So using this video and your ears and just watching by starting and stopping, you're going to learn Yankee Doodle, but I'm not going to play it hand separately. I'm going to play hands together. Then you can start and stop and focus on whichever hand you're working on. I highly recommend you do hands separate first. I'm going to put it at a nice slow 104. Yeah, it's kind of fast for you to learn it. I might go just a little bit slower. You would think that 208 seems really fast, but it's not. I think you'll enjoy playing it that fast someday. But starting out to watch these fingerings, which are a little tricky on this one, I'm going to go let's do 96, okay? So, right hand starts with a number 2. Left hand starts with a number 3. We're going to do the one in the key of C first. And you'll know that when you first learn these at the beginning of the week, you could just do one of them. Just do the key of C. Then the next day, review that one and try to learn it in F. Once you get the tune and the fingering, it shouldn't be too hard to move it to the different keys. And if you have trouble keeping track of my fingerings, you can always check the music out. It does have them. Though there is one, I think there's one goof on the fingering in the left-hand part. I'll show it to you when I get there. Anyway, here we go. Right hand second, left third. Switch to thumb. Now here's where I change it to a 4 in the left hand, fourth finger, right there. So listen to this part again. It goes Yankee, and then I move the fourth up. So that's the goof that I think I wrote a third finger on the music, but it should be a fourth finger there. And then your third fingers are ready for this. So lots of tricky fingerings in this one. You might have to take it really slow and repeat and review the video many times. But I'm going to move on to the key of F. Same fingering, and we're going to put the second finger and third finger here. I goofed the fingering. Fourth finger again, right there. Okay, so lots of neat little tricky fingerings for you to learn in there. Good luck with that. I think I screwed one of them up on that second line. Anyway, let's try it in the key of G. Right hand, left hand. Finger. Okay, all right, so good luck with that. Yankee Doodle, a nice tune for learning some tricky fingerings. And if you can catch them all, that'd be awesome. All right, so for your reading exercises, we have give and take, fun D and C. I'm going to start with give and take. I'm going to go ahead and play each line one time with the right, one time with the left, and then one time with both hands, and you'll do 3 perfect. We'll save some time. I won't do 3 perfect on each line, and then I'll play the whole piece for you to see what it sounds like. So right hand by itself, and this is interesting because this is a candidate for possibly not always practicing hands separately, but at first I think you should. So starting at measure 13, I'm going to do the bottom line first. 5th finger's up on C. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. So I jump all the way up to a 4th on C with my 2nd and my 5th. Okay? So do that right hand till you know it. Then the left hand, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a fifth on C. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Then you're going to have to jump. And that's how you end it. Okay, so now we're going to do both hands till, well, you'll get 3 perfects. I'm just going to do it once to demonstrate. I should put the metronome on at a nice slow 80. Kind of fast. I'm going to go even slower. 66 for the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that was at 66. If you want to start that slow, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to go a little bit faster as I do the other lines. But I just wanted to show you it's okay to go slow. You could go even slower than that if you needed to. But for the rest of them, I'll go 80 to save time on the video. I'm going to have you go from measure 9 to measure 13 now. Right hand. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So I went to the first note here. Left hand. A fifth on C followed by a third on C, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait for 1, 2, 3. Then a fourth. 1, going to a sixth. 3, 4. Off. Okay, so you can practice these intervals. A fifth, a third, a fourth, a sixth. And once you get good at that, time to put them together. Ready? Measure 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And after you get your third perfect, you could just go all the way to the end or on the third perfect. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to just wait till I get the whole thing learned. Now measure 5. Right hand starts with a thumb on F. Third finger here. This is a third on F. I'm going to count 1, 2, off on 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, off on 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so now you have the right hand. I had a bad itch while I was doing that. Okay, so now left hand, after you get good at the right hand, left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then off. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Okay, now I'm going to put the hands together for just one time. You're going to get 3 perfects. I'm just going to do it once. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so that was the second line. Now let's do the first line. Let's do the left hand first this time. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Aha! I discovered a goof. So I'm afraid I've already put the materials up and published them. So you're going to have to scratch out this number 1 finger right here. Do not put your number 1 finger there. That's dumb. All right. So just use your 5th finger all the way. Sorry about that. It happens sometimes. All right. So now I'm going to do the right hand. Right hand has a third finger here. Thumb and a third. It's a third on F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Off on 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. Now we're putting them together. You'll notice this piece is full of intervals. You're still getting familiar with all the different intervals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so now, once you've gotten each line practiced 3 perfect, play through the whole thing. Now, the first day, you'll probably won't get faster than maybe 80 or 88, but by the end of the week, you're going to be up to 144. So let me show you what that sounds like. One time all the way through so you can check your work against this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that you should be able to do all of it without looking at your hands, except for maybe that last jump. Okay, the last measure you might need to look at your hands for the jump, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right? Good luck with that. All right, so your next reading exercise, the Fun D&C, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the same type of practice, but I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. I'm going to play a little right hand, left hand, both on each line. You'll get 3 perfects. I'll just do each one once. I'll put it at 80, though you could go slower if you need to. So I'm going to do the top line, right hand, from here to here. Third finger's on F. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third finger moves down. Notice that you move to a new hand position on the second line. So now it's the left hand's turn after you've gotten good at the right hand. Left hand, fifth finger on D. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then you move down. 1. I sense a pattern there, do you? That's not too tough. Hopefully you'll get that. Now putting the hands together on that first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, now it's time to do the second line. And I'd like to remind you to keep those eyes on the music and count it out loud while you work. Right hand, third finger on E. Here's the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third finger back up to F. Get good at that. And then the left hand does not look too difficult. It's just fifths on C all the way. I'll play it once. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can practice playing it soft because it's not the melody. You could practice playing it down like that and then move it up to a fifth finger, right? On D. Now, both hands on the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oops, sorry. I was looking at something else to see what's coming and I missed it. So that would not be a perfect one, but you know it goes to there. Both hands move back up. Now, I would like to put those 2 lines together for you, plus the third line, because these 2 are the same. You do not have to practice this one again, since they're exactly the same, and it goes to the same note. So real quick, the first 3 lines, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then this is just like the first line. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Then you move down and play 1. Okay, so now on the next line, I'm going to play the right hand by itself, and then the left hand, and put them together. Right hand starts 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then off. So that's not too tough. Learn that right hand. Then the left hand, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not even going to play. It's the same old, and at the end you use your fourth finger on D. Let's put the hands together now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then off. Okay? So now, hopefully you will have done each line 3 perfect with both hands, and then the whole piece. So I'm going to go ahead and play it at the top tempo, which will make it a lot more sense here. 160 makes it more like a fun one rather than a funeral dirge. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, off. And that was Fun D&C. So good luck with that. And make sure you keep those eyes glued to the music and count out loud while you do it. All right, so for your final week of practicing a minor tune, I would suggest that you practice each 4 measures, right hand, left hand, both. I don't think you need to do the 2 anymore unless you want to. You could if you want to. It always helps get stronger. But if you're trying to save a little bit of time and still want to do a good job, each 4 measures, right hand, left hand, both. Now that applies to all of the first 6 lines of the piece. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These last 2 lines, I don't think you need to do hands separate anymore. Obviously, you don't do hands separate on these little arpeggio things. So what I'd like to do is show you how I would practice the second page. Today, last time I kind of showed you the first page. Today, let's do the second page, and then you'll, of course, during the week, practice each page, maybe one day, one page, one day the next. You could alternate, or you could play the whole piece or work on the whole piece. I'm going to show you how easy it is to practice through just the second page. I'm going to put the metronome on at a kind of easy tempo, and then I'm going to play the whole piece through at our top speed, which is 144. But for now, I want to do each line at 104, and I'm not going to do 2 measures at a time like this and this. I'm actually going to do a whole line at a time. So let's start with the bottom line and work our way up the page. I'm going to start here and do from here to the end. And I'm not going to pay any attention to the ritardando at the moment, which is the slowing, all right? So right hand is up here. You will be doing this by memory till you get 3 perfects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then off, okay? I'm only going to demonstrate it once to save a little video time. So 3 perfect like that. And now the next line up. Kind of the opposite. This starts down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I went to the first note up here. I want to point out that I pedaled through. I held the pedal all the way, let go, push the pedal back down, and then change the pedal when I get to the top note there. Now let's put the last 2 lines together. You'll have done 3 perfect, 3 perfect. Now let's play them together with the pedaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then off your hands and your pedal at the same time. Now, on the other 2 lines of this page, these 2, you need to do some hand separate practice. So, even if you have it all memorized, it's good to continue doing the hand separate so you strengthen that memory. I'm going to play the right hand by itself on this line. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And then I'd be ready to play 3, 4 down here, okay? Now the left hand, after I've done the right hand by memory several times, left hand is a 5th. Down to G. Whoops. 1, 2. I was looking over at the clock, seeing how much time I was taking, and I forgot to play that. So I'm going to do it one more time with the left hand. I'm going to do it by memory. Promise I won't look. And then the left hand starts right there, okay? So now, putting the hands together on this line by memory, you will do 3 perfects. I'm just going to do 1. Like a little overlap so that both hands have to play like that. So now, after you've done 3 perfect, on the 3rd, you could go all the way to the end and then start working on this line. I'm going to do that now. Right hand by itself from up here. And then switch back to the thumb. Okay, I goofed on that a little bit, but I fixed it. So now, after you get 3, or no, by memory with the right hand, as many as you want, then the left hand, it's the same as the second line, but I'll play it again just to make sure I have a good feel for it. And then, okay, so now both hands, 3 perfect on that. I'm just going to do it once for you. I think I goofed the fingering on here because I still have a bad finger. I'm going to write it in here. I think on the materials that you get published, I've already changed it to a 3, but on this one I didn't have it changed yet. So now I have. Now, after you've practiced each line 3 perfectly, you can play through the whole page. And you can start working your way up the dial. I'm going to show you what that sounds like. I did them all at 104. Now I'm going to click and do them all at 112 for you. Maybe we'll just go even further. 120. Here it goes. Pedal. Okay, so now that was at 120. And of course, you could have worked your way up a few clicks at a time. I'm just saving time on the video. The next thing you do is click up 132. I'm going to skip that. And now our top speed, I feel like 144 is a good tempo for this piece. So now you would do the second page that way, and that would be a good practice on it. I'm going to go ahead and just play the whole piece at 144 so that you can kind of hear what it sounds like. You're going to have this by memory at 144. Now, once you've worked with your metronome and gotten it up to the speed that you like, then turn this darn thing off and start playing it more musically. Feel the freedom of not having to use your metronome, but still keep it steady, all right? So I would suggest that after you've learned the piece and you're learning to play it with all the right rhythm and the steadiness, then you can start interpreting it the way you want, doing the louds and the softs, playing it with the flow, and perhaps you can find somebody to perform it for. If you're not into performing, don't even worry about it. But having worked with the piece and memorized it, you could probably use some sort of closing event, whether you would record it, put it up on YouTube, which I think would be a riot. I'd love to see some of these with people playing them on YouTube, or something to that effect, so that you feel you've done a complete job and you're ready to move on to the next one, which is going to show up in lesson 9. So anyway, good luck with that, and thanks for working so hard.